Most people spend their entire lives stuck in the same financial loop. Work, pay bills, repeat. But what if I told you there is a 90-day window, a specific time frame where you can completely rewire how money flows through your life? Not through get-rich-quick schemes, not through miracle investments, through something far more powerful. A system that changes how your brain thinks about money. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover the exact three-phase framework that took people from checking account anxiety to actual cash flow. The results: some built their emergency fund in less than 90 days. Others cracked the code on passive income. One person, they quit their job. But here is the thing. Most people never make it past week 2. Stay with me and I'll show you why. Why 90 days matters. Before we talk about the system itself, you need to understand why 90 days matters. Our brains are hardwired for habit formation. Research shows that genuine behavioral change, the kind that actually sticks, takes approximately 66 to 90 days. Not 21 days. That is just marketing. Not 6 months. That is procrastination dressed up as patience. On average, it takes 66 days for a new behavior to reach automaticity, meaning people do it without much conscious thought. But the range varies wildly, from as little as 18 days up to 254 days. 90 days is the Goldilocks zone. It is long enough to see real results. Your income could shift, your debt could drop, your mindset could transform, but it is short enough that you can feel the momentum. You can taste success, and that taste is what makes people continue. But here is where most people fail. They try to change everything at once. New budget, new spending habits, new savings goals, new investment strategy, all at the same time. And by day 18, their brain is exhausted from decision fatigue, and they're right back to square one. The 90-day money system doesn't work like that. It is split into 3 distinct 30-day phases. Each phase has one primary focus. Each phase builds on the last. It is not about willpower. It is about design. You're not fighting your brain. You're partnering with it. And that is the secret most people never understand. Number civ phase. 1 days 1 to 30. Awareness phase ***. So let's talk about phase 1 days 1 to 30. The awareness phase. Your job in this phase is simple, and I mean simple, but it can feel almost anticlimactic. Track every single dollar that leaves your account. That is it. Not to judge yourself, not to shame yourself, not yet, just to see. Most people have no idea where their money actually goes. They'll tell you they spend responsibly, but then can account for $200, $300, $400 a month. It just evaporates. This phase is about closing that gap. And here is the psychological trick. When you simply track your spending without judgment, something shifts in your brain. Zinnia Wealth, https://zinniawealth.com/2004/07/spending-mindful-money-habits/Zinnia Wealth. You become conscious, and consciousness always precedes change. Tracking our expenses brings clarity about where our money is going, helping us make informed decisions in the future. Zinnia Wealth, https://zinniawealth.com/2024/07/spending-mindful-money-habits/ You don't even have to cut anything yet, but you'll start making different micro decisions. You'll hesitate before that impulse buy. You'll notice patterns you never saw before. Psychology Today, AudiPS WWPS Psychology. Kumyasum blog. The psychology of Deti 2,504 want to spend smarter. Start by naming your feelings. By day 30, most people discover something shocking. Maybe it is $150 a month on subscriptions they forgot they had. Maybe it is eating out 5 times a week when they thought it was only 2. Maybe it is the small "I deserve this" purchases that add up to thousands of dollars every year. The awareness itself becomes the catalyst. And that brings you to the edge of phase 2, where the real transformation begins. Phase 2, days 31 to 60, restructure phase. Days 31 to 60, this is the restructure phase. This is where emotion meets action. Now that you know where your money goes, you're ready to make a choice. This is crucial. It is a choice, not a restriction. We do this with something I call the priority stack. First, you list your non-negotiables: rent, food, essential utilities. These are sacred. We don't touch them. Then you list your values. This is personal. For you, it might be security. For someone else, it is growth or travel or family. Your values determine where every other dollar flows. Someone who values security will build an emergency fund first. Someone who values growth might invest in a course. When your money aligns with your actual values, not society's, not your family's, but yours, you don't feel deprived. You feel aligned. Then comes the cut. Anything that doesn't serve your survival or your values, it gets reduced or eliminated. That unused subscription, that habit that drains you. This is where it gets emotional, because cutting isn't just about money. It is about identity. I'm someone who goes out to eat. I'm someone who has that streaming service. You're not. You're becoming someone different, someone with choices. By day 60, your money has been rerouted. Maybe it is an extra $200 a month. Maybe it is $800. The number doesn't matter. What matters is this: money is finally flowing somewhere you chose. Phase 3, days 61 to 90, acceleration phase. Which brings us to days 61 through 90, the acceleration phase. This is where the system compounds. You now have a surplus real money, and you're at a crossroads. You can spend it or you can deploy it. Most people spend it. This system doesn't. Your new cash flow has 3 specific destinations. First, the safety net. You build a 1-month emergency fund, then 2, then 3. 3 months of take-home pay is a good emergency fund target. If you're currently a renter, don't have dependents, and have a stable job, this isn't investing. It is insurance. And the psychological impact of having 3 months of expenses just sitting there, it changes everything. You're no longer desperate. Desperation makes bad decisions. Safety makes strategic ones. Second, the income stream. With a surplus and a safety net, you can invest in something that generates a return. Maybe it is education that leads to a raise, a micro business, or actual investments. The key is this: this money now works for you. It is multiplying. Third, and this is critical, the reward. You must allocate 10% of your surplus to something purely joyful. A meal out, a hobby, something that reminds you. That money isn't the enemy of happiness. It is the servant of it. By day 90, you've rebuilt security. You've started diversifying your income, and you've rewired your entire relationship with money. And you haven't felt deprived. You felt powerful. Real examples. Let me give you 3 quick examples. Sarah, a freelancer, found she was spending $180 a month on apps she didn't use. She redirected that into a 3-month emergency fund. By day 90, the confidence from that security led her to raise her rates and earn 30% more. Then there is Marcus. He was drowning in $8,000 of consumer debt. He made brutal cuts, no dining out, no extras. By day 90, he depaid off over $5,000. The money was always there. The system just made it visible. And Alicia, she was high income, but broke. Lifestyle creep ate her entire salary. The system forced her to ask what she actually valued. It wasn't designer clothes. It was security and learning. By day 90, she had a 3-month emergency fund and had invested in a certification that could boost her income by $15,000 a year. 3 different people, 1 outcome. They all regained agency over their money. Why people fail and how to succeed. Now, not everyone makes it. Most people fail in the first 30 days because tracking feels tedious. The solution? Automate it. Use an app 5 minutes a day. Zinnia Wealth. Others quit in phase 2 because the cuts feel too real. The solution? Remember your why. Write down your values and look at them daily. Let that emotion sustain you. Psychology today. And some plateau in phase 3, unsure how to deploy their money. The solution? Start small. A $50 investment in a course. $100 into a brokerage account. Action creates confidence. The system works, but only if you do. Here is what I want you to understand. You're not broke because you're stupid or unlucky. You're in your current situation because of systems you probably never chose. But you can choose a different one right now. In 90 days, you could be unrecognizable. Not because you got lucky, but because you followed a framework designed to work with your brain, not against it. James Mesclier. If this resonates, if you're ready to take control, hit that subscribe button. You don't have to figure this out alone. Turn on notifications. And in 90 days, you recognize yourself.